Hello everybody. It's a sunny morning. So I stayed in the National Forest again. The name escapes me and it's hard to pronounce. It starts with an S, but it's the one that's right outside of Yosemite. And I'm in a great spot, but it's very close to the road, as you can see. This road is quiet though. At night there's nobody comes down it, so it worked out fine. But last night I got here before sunset because I don't like driving around the National Forest trying to find a place to park in the dark. And this white car kept driving by, and it was just after sunset. So they kept driving by but slowing way, way down. And at first I was sitting outside on that rock right there, just enjoying the sunset. And I think they did it 3 times, and they slowed way down, and I was like, what the heck? So I went inside because it was pretty much dark at that point, and I was on my computer, and somebody pulls into this spot because I'm tucked back a bit into the spot, but the spot is actually kind of large. Like it's a little loop actually around this bit of greenery. And so the person pulls in, but they don't pull in to the far side over there. They pull in nose to nose with my van. There was 3 feet, but still. It's one thing if you're in the city and somebody does that, but when you're out in the forest, somebody pulls nose to nose to you, it's kind of threatening almost. So I was on guard, and I had, with that car driving by slowly already, I was already feeling a little strange about it. So, it seemed threatening. Because I'm blocked in then. Behind me, there are large boulders, and they're nose to nose with me. Although my van, need be, could probably push their car out, but that's not the point. So, and they sit there for a few minutes, maybe it was like 2 minutes, but still, nose to nose. They eventually back up, and you can see where they backed up to. Here are their tracks. So they pretty much backed up right to here. And so they were 10 feet away from my van, still facing me. And it felt strange. But they clicked on their lights inside their vehicle. It was 2 young people, and it looked like they were looking at maps maybe or something. I think the young lady had a tablet that she was looking at, and I'm like, okay, well, they're confused and they're trying to find somewhere to park. And so I just go back to my laptop and continue on, but keeping an eye on them. So they eventually get out of their car and open their trunk. And so I just, I hate confrontation, hate it. And when I'm forced into confrontation, I think I get a little intense maybe, because I'm feeling some anxiety, when I'm faced with having to confront people, and just tense, and I'm sure I come off a little more tense than I want to. I wish I could just be calm and cool. So I step out, trying to be as calm and cool as I can, and I'm like, hello. Why are you here? Why is your vehicle 10 feet away from my vehicle? I said, are you planning on staying right here? And they said yes. Well, it turns out they were quite young people. They were in their probably early 20s, and they had French accents, so they were either French Canadian or from France. So at that point, I'm maybe, backing off a little bit. If it was somebody my age or close to my age, I probably would, stay more angry with them because they should know better. But these people are young and they're from another country, so I'm giving them a little bit of credit, So they say yes, they plan to stay here, And I said, just so you guys know, it's bad etiquette to pull into somebody else's camp and, for one, have your lights on and put your vehicle nose to nose with them, because then it puts them on guard. And then you back up 10 feet and start to set up your camp. It's, somebody else is not going to take kindly to that. Not that I was taking it kindly, but so part of me was still a little irked by the whole thing, and then I had to confront them. I don't like being put in that situation. So they said that they didn't know where to park, and I said, well, you can park anywhere you want. And this is National Forest, as long as there's no sign or, there's no boulders put in front of a spot. Those are the areas they don't want you getting into. And I said, there's a spot. It's actually where I stayed last night. It's just like not even a half a mile up the road. And actually, I was gonna say I could probably see their car, but no. I said it's just like that way a little bit, and take your first left, and there's tons of spots back there. I took this one because I wanted to be a little closer to the road, a little easier to get out of. The other one was a little wonky, the drive-in, and this honestly is a prettier spot. And the night before there was a Class A parked in here, so I would have taken it the night before too, but I just prefer this spot. And plus there are people shooting in the National Forest. I just heard a gunshot, I think. And the further you get back, the more likely there'll be people shooting things, and I just don't want to be around that. The guy kind of acted confused. He spoke English pretty well, but he still seemed confused by the entire thing. I guess he just thought, you're allowed to camp here, so you can pull in right next to somebody else and camp, which is technically true. I don't own this land, but so the lady seemed to understand a little better, she had said that she was sorry, and she understood. And I said, don't worry about it. You can just leave, stay where you are. It's fine. But just for next time, just understand that the next person may not be as friendly as me. Although maybe I wasn't being that friendly, but I don't know. So I told them to have a good night, and I went back into my van, and I started to put up my these things in my windows, and I look outside, and they're leaving. So I think I scared them away. I don't know. I thought I was trying to be nice. Like I said, I come off a little intense when I'm forced to confront somebody. So I don't know. Yeah, but they hightailed it out of here. So I had my spot to myself, like I wanted it, really. So I really am a nice person. I'm reasonable, but I get upset when when I view somebody as being rude, or I guess I'm funny like that. So it's a beautiful day, as you can see. It was kind of cold last night, but for me that's great for sleeping. I don't mind it cold when I'm trying to sleep. And but I'm trying to decide what to do. I'm feeling much better. My belly. What I'm thinking now is that it's not the water that I was drinking from that spring. I'm thinking it's not Giardia. So I went to make a meal last night, and I was going to use, well, it was sausage, but it was like natural, expensive sausage, and it was, I think it was organic, and it was grass-fed and all these things, which is how I try to, the meat that I do eat, I try to get the best quality meat. And the night before when I ate it, I didn't really inspect it or anything. I just plopped it into the pan and cooked it up with cabbage and mushrooms and onions and ate it like that. But last night I touched it, it felt a little off. It felt a little bit slimy. Sorry, this is disgusting. I hope you're not trying to eat breakfast. And I smelled it, and it didn't smell horrible, but it smelled just slightly off. And now I'm thinking that's what made me sick. I do have kind of a delicate digestive system, like I said. But I was convinced I had Giardia, and that's a big deal. Like, you get that, when you get that, you have it for, you know, at least a month, if not more. So you're actively sick for like a month, and you can go to the doctor and get some kind of pills. I think they're probably antibiotics, but they say that they only work in a portion of the people, and that a lot of people just have to wait it out, and that even when you get over it, your belly is not the same for weeks and weeks afterwards, which I know because I got food poisoning. Well, I've had it a few times. I've been to a lot of third world countries, and I was in El Salvador and got really sick, and then felt okay after a little while, but my belly was not the same for at least like 3 months afterwards. So that's not fun. So I'm hoping that this was just a mild case, not Giardia, not E. coli. Feeling pretty good today. My energy is fine. My belly feels pretty normal. So fingers crossed. It's all good. So what's my plan then? My original plan was to continue on from Yosemite and head down to Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, which are, they're not close to here, but they're going in the same direction. And yeah, so the whole thing is, though, I think I might be a little national park out. I've done a few, plus a whole bunch of national forests. I think I might just be over it for now. And yeah, I think Yosemite, my experience yesterday, kind of sealed the deal. I was already starting to feel that way. And what I really want to do is go to the hot springs on the other side of the mountains. There's tons of them over there. Once you get over the mountains, pretty much I think there's just dozens and dozens of them that you can visit all the way down that side of the those mountains. And I also want to go to Mono Lake, and there's a chance I might meet one of my friends there. I don't know when exactly. So I have about 2 more weeks to play with until I head to Arizona. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to skip the next 2 national parks and head over the mountain. So I just wanted to show you where you can boondock when you're near Yosemite. So you, off of the main route, the 120, you turn into the area where it's Hetch Hetchy. I'm reading this backwards in the screen. Hetch Hetchy areas. You turn on this road, which it's called Evergreen Road. So you turn on Evergreen Road, and there are several places where some of them can hold multiple vehicles. Some of them are smaller, maybe just a van or a small RV. Some spots are even big enough for a Class A. So on freecampsites.net, they recommend, or the one that's listed is a few miles, maybe 2 miles down that way, and across the street without getting killed. It's called Hardin Flat. Can you see that on that sign? Hardin Flat. There is a spot there. I went and checked it out, and it's a larger spot, but I only saw one. I read on the internet that there were more than one, but I saw one, so maybe there are more. But that one spot had about 8 vehicles packed into it like a little parking lot. And so I came back down this road, and there's lots of space, and there's very few people down here. So, and it's only, like I said, it's actually a little closer to the park. And then you go maybe, you know, between 1 and 5 miles down this Evergreen Road, and you'll be able to find plenty of spots.